Hey guys, welcome back. And to complete my video about why I think this is the Westworld location, I just wanted to uh, speak of some evidence we actually got from Westworld. Uh, specifically from the Delos corporations and some of the episodes, and one of which thing was the communication between Bernard and his wife, and he was basically letting her know how much of a problem it was to have communication out where they were. And that brings to mind how it would be sending messages and communications from Earth to Mars. We know that there will be time dilations from the satellites. As well when the Martian orbit it changes, it's further away from Earth. So that would make a lot of more sense as well. With this with Westworld being located on Mars due to the distance. Another thing, or another bit of information we got from the Delos Corporation website was we got uh, information about decompression chambers. And at first glance, um, when we think of decompression chambers, we usually think of going underwater and diving. But there is also another use for the word decompression chamber, and that's like we've heard that term used on on Mars as well. Decompression chambers, used on Mars, to deal with atmospheric pressure. Um, we also got uh, some more evidence. The uh, large amounts of water, when they were in the storage facility, was a large amount of water that was gushing out, gushing from the sides of the walls and things like that. And again, people might relate that to being underwater, but in thinking about whatever period of time this could be on a planet like Mars, uh, we know that this could be actually the product of a rising or the result of rising sea levels. So you could have with the ice melting on Mars, if it was warmed up in the future, uh, that would maybe account for a lot of that water. If this is a pre existent Mars, the theory of Mars going back, life originating from Mars or starting out on Mars, then you would basically have, could have rising sea levels on the planet of Mars or something to that effect. So, yeah, I found that very interesting. And some more information from the Delos website that we received was that there are only flies located, here. So flies, let's think about that. If it's only flies in Westworld, those are the only really living, creatures or insects or life besides human beings. Why would there just be flies there? If it were on an island, um, it would be a different type of species or life or insect, in addition to flies. So that would kind of rule out it being on an island. But although it doesn't really give us, I didn't find any direct links between flies and Mars necessarily. I did find it interesting that flies have a lot less cells than a lot of other creatures. So, when you talk about missions on Mars and creatures on Mars and the DNA of animals being damaged and things like that, my guess is flies would probably be a bit more resilient to damaged DNA and cellular damage. Just a thought, could be off. I'm not a microbiologist or astrobiologist rather. But I just thought that was interesting. And last piece of evidence to go with the other video was that Michael Crichton had a, uh, if I understand correctly, he had a connection, big connection with global warming and things like that. I think he was very active with global warming situations like that. And I just find that's interesting when we think about heating up the earth or the earth getting too hot, but using that same technology to perhaps heat up Mars, so that it can be habitable, or the global warming causing Earth to become so inhospitable that one would, find life more. Life would become a better situation on Mars, or may become a necessary situation. So anyway, guys, that's the complete theory behind why I think this is where Westworld is. Again, guys, feel free to comment. I'd love to know your thoughts about where Westworld is, what's going to happen, in the future of Westworld and things like that. But anyway, guys, until next time, take care.